Hello and welcome to a quick start guide for Special Olympics Washington final registration roster completion. So to get started, this is not a form that you will find blank anywhere online. This is going to be a form that is completed for you by Special Olympics and provided based on what you submitted during pre-registration. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and you'll notice that I'm using Excel for this. But you are also able to use this in Google Sheets as well as Apple Numbers. They are compatible here. Some quick things to note is this is going to be sport specific. So what this page looks like is going to depend based on what sport your program is using this season. We're going to look at our tabs too briefly. So we have our form resource tab. So we have hyperlinks here for registration, paperwork, and forms from participants as well as additional trainings for coaches and volunteers. We also have some buttons here that work as links. If you are using Excel, these may not work in other programs, but if you are looking for the spring registration portal, that is going to be something that is provided for you, or whichever season you're in, by your region manager. So we're going to click down into our final registration submission tab. And so this is where we're primarily going to be working. This is where you're going to be entering in the information for the program in the final registration column, indicating if this person is participating, their team, if there's on a team, their event code, as well as any additional information for that specific event. We also have our individual form summary tab, and this should look familiar. It is the same formatting as the individual form results summary report that came out from the pre-registration rosters that were submitted. This will have what we've been able to process thus far from the season that has come in through the prepared portal for the season. So there is a little bit of a delay from when we're able to receive it and review it and then update it into our system and communicate back. So please take into account that there can be some delays there. If you have questions about long-standing incompletes or questions specifically, feel free to reach out to your region manager about those. But please do note that there is a bit of delay here. So we're going to get into filling this form out, and we're going to go to the final registration submission. So the most important thing for you to be able to walk away from this training is that we have to start with completing the final registration column. So if you're clicking in here, there's a drop down of yes, no, and then blank. So if somebody in this list is going to be participating, they need to be marked yes. Even if there is information over here that is entered, if they do not have yes in final registration, they will not be input into the games. So it's very important that you're reviewing this. If we put no, there are some protections built into the program that should prevent you from being able to input some information if you have selected no. But if things have changed or the longer you spend in it, unfortunately they do break down a little bit. And this is just an outcome of trying to make the form as compatible with as many programs as possible. So there's going to be no replacement for your human eye in auditing this. You'll also note, rather than just say, hey, no, why can't I just delete this person? So there is some back-end formulas and structures that are tied to these. So these should be locked. Please do not delete, copy and paste, or move anyone. If they're not participating, please just hit no. It should not allow you to filter or sort as well, but if you were able to find a workaround, please don't. It will prevent your certifications and your event codes from being correct. So if you need to add new people that were not on your pre-registration, that's totally okay, and you can just add them here at the bottom. If you need to change specific information, say a person type for final registration, that's something that you can communicate with with your region manager, and they'll be able to help you with that. So once we've completed these, we're going to say yes, 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 but we're going to go no. We're going to have one no. So you can also do, rather than doing the drop downs, you can also do copy and paste as well. Please note that if you do have an additional person over here in the clearance section, it's going to say that they're not fully certified because we don't have those results currently residing in the back end of this form. But if for whatever reason this says not fully certified and you're unsure as to why, you can click over into this form to review the specifics. So once you have your final registration and you are confident in that, we're going to move over into entering our events. So you'll notice that there is 4 different sections here, and because this is athletics, you're able to do up to 4 different events. If this was a different sport, say soccer for this season, there may only be one event column for you to be able to complete. So this will look somewhat different depending on which activity you're participating in. So in the team, the partnered or group, and relay name, this is where you're going to be grouping people together. So if we have a relay team, it's going to be super important that we get them matched together, so we know that they're going to be on that same team in that race. So I highly recommend using copy and paste here because discrepancies in formatting is going to cause some issues and additional auditing. So relay team 1. But if we do relay team 1, that is while it is the same content, it doesn't always match exactly, and these can be lead to small problems later on, but they may not be as easy to match and will increase the chance that they will be registered incorrectly. So I always recommend doing a copy. You can hold Control C to copy and a Control V to paste as a key command. You can right click and select copy or paste. Whatever is most comfortable for you. You don't have to manually retype every single one. So we're going to continue down, and I'm going to show you a way that you can circumvent the lockout. So if I was to drag this down, you're going to see 2 things that have happened. So one, it's saying relay team 2, so it's trying to count up, which is not what we want. You can correct that by saying copy cells versus fill series. But this person is not participating, so we don't want to have that information there. So this is why it's going to be important for you to be able to make sure that you're auditing here to ensure that we're getting that information in the quality that we want it. So we're going to say that this is our relay team 1. We're going to click over into our event code. Also to note over here in teams, if there is, it's an individual sport, that's totally okay. You can just leave this blank. But you'll want to note that the first 2 columns, our events, are going to be where we have specific columns for entering a team or partner grouping or relays. So you'll want to enter them there. So if somebody is doing 4 events and they're doing 2 relays, you'll want to make sure that the relays are listed first. You can also put individual events in these columns, but just prioritizing those group ones. So now that we look at our event codes, you're going to have a drop down. So if you click into the cell, you'll notice that there's this little drop down. In Google Sheets, there's a little downward arrow that is always visible that you can use as well. So if you click in, you'll notice that we have lots of different events. So because this is track, there's many events. We also have groupings, so categories of events that are able to be grouped together. So there is duplicates within this. So you'll see category, and then there's going to be the actual event listed. So we have category A through H, and then you'll notice down here at the bottom, relays are their own category. So I would always recommend that if you are looking to be able to do this quickly and make sure that you're thinking about all of the categories that are available to you and the events within them. Keeping the season's registration pamphlet on hand that's been distributed will be super helpful. So we're going to continue on down because we know that we're doing a relay. And so I'm just using a copy and paste here. And then I'm holding down Control on my keyboard and then Control C, and once again holding down that Control and Control V to be able to paste. So now that we have our events in, we're going to be looking at where we're inputting our scores, our submission stuff. So in individual, this is where we're going to be putting in a individual qualifying score or a BSAT, depending on obviously the sport. So for BSATs, this is going to be your totaled number. This is not individual numbers. This isn't something you need to do for the team. It is just that totaled for them. We'll be able to do the team averages and all of that on our side. And then we have our option for team score, and then an opportunity to be able to put in notes. So anytime that there is additional information that needs to be communicated, you're able to input that there. So one of the other unique things about using our drop-downs this way for sports that have categories is you're able to more easily check, okay, so this person is only going to be doing events in category A. So I know that I can just kind of scroll down, look at A, and then select them clean across. So, and we'll just be able to enter in this information and move along. So once you've had completed all of this, you've done a really good job of auditing, making sure that all of this information is tidy and reflects what you would like it to be. You're going to make sure that you want to save, as well as naming it something unique. I always recommend that you save it slightly different than what the file came in as, because it's a little bit easy to get them confused, and sometimes you can re-upload a form that is incomplete. I've done it more times than I would like to admit, so please be aware of that. Once you've completed this, you're able to save, and then you can go ahead and for this one, you'd be able to click to the Form Resources tab and hit that button, the Spring Registration Portal, and that's going to take you directly to our submission portal. So you'll be able to fill out that information and then go ahead and attach our form. An additional note is it's important that when you're saving, that you are saving this as an XLSM formatted file. So this is something that even its baseline is Microsoft Excel, but all programs from Numbers or Sheets are able to do it. When you're saving as, you'll just want to make sure that you select XLSM, or if you're exporting as that. If it's a PDF, unfortunately, there is functionings that behind the scenes here that are no longer connected if they're completed that way, and so then there's a large amount of additional work that is required. So if you have any questions or you're unable to make that happen on your computer, please feel free to reach out to your region manager, and they'll be able to provide some resources and support to be able to help with that. If you also run into any other issues that we weren't able to forecast here or problem solve for you, please feel free to reach out. Your region manager will likely be able to help. If not, they'll be able to pass along your information to somebody that will be able to help support you in those specifics. We appreciate all of your patience and willingness to try these new systems with us. We're very excited to be able to work with you and support your wonderful programs. So we look forward to a wonderful season with you, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.